Let me feed the hole. Let's play Don't Feed It. Hello and welcome to Hulu who plays short indie horror games, and today I'm going to play a game by Capcrow Games. Let's just see if I played The Beacon's End, I think, by them, and I think I enjoyed that one, so I'm looking forward to this one. Don't feed it, so I think that means we will feed something which we shouldn't feed, and that will have dire consequences. The text on the itch page reads, a derelict house, the door is chained shut, there's a gap in the floor, something is calling to you from below. Your heart feels like it's about to explode with each passing day. You try to breathe, but it feels like you're running out of oxygen. The air smells of rot. You don't remember how long you've been here, only that you have one very specific purpose, feed it. But the game says don't feed it. You have 10 days to complete your task, not counting the nights, of course. They told you to feed it during the day, not during the night. Nights are too terrifying. Days are short here. You exist only to feed it. Yeah, I think their previous game was a Lighthouse game, so obviously I played it. I do love my Lighthouse horror, and I think that also was something where we had to do stuff for a couple of days and then shit went down. Did I? Yeah, I'm recording. We're not defined by what we do, we are what we endure. Nah, no, that's horrible. That is horrible. So what? I'm like COVID twice and the flu? No, I'm not lactose intolerance as a person. Feed it every day, always during the day. Oh. Oh, exit. Yeah, weird. You can open it with E, but you can't close it with E, which is weird. This is where I sleep? Oh, that sucks so bad. Like, I didn't even put that properly into its place. Oh, of course it is Saturn devouring his sun. Look, people, this is not for horror. This is an allegory for war. It's about, you know, I think it was a civil war. So basically, literally, the country is devouring its children by killing its citizens. Or even throwing its citizens into the war because, you know, you usually have young boys and men having to fight the war. Ew. So that's the food, but I shall not feed it during night. Feed whole. No. Wait, I said no. Why is the thingy gone? Also, of course this has different endings. Because every game nowadays has. I want more linear games with one ending. Commit. Developer. Commit. Day 2. Okay, we need to be fast because apparently night comes fast here. Where's the hole? Where's the hole? Oh god, where's the hole? I'm gone. Where am I? Oh god, no. What just happened? Let me feed the hole. I can't find the hole. Oh my god, where is it? There it is. Oh, okay. Wow, that was close. Mayhem. Also, was the flat layout different, or did I just get completely confused? Okay. Oh, that's annoying. So the... Ugh. Yeah, whatever. Ugh. Who shot at me? Look, is it growing? This looks actually like a porta potty. I'm gonna lie. Feed the hole. Yeah. Yeah. I am an adult woman, but yeah, stuff like that occasionally makes me laugh. Yeah, Come on. Oh. So the days go by in a hurry. I wonder what I'm doing when I'm not feeding the thingy-majingy. Like, am I, Am I reading? Oh, there it is. Dude, if you just shut up and let me do my work, then you will get your flesh. Okay. Oh, it's growing, I think. Is it? I think it's growing. Else, maybe. I don't know. What an attitude. Ew. I'm turning into the blob. Ain't I? Like, or my house. Like, is like turning into the blob thingy that gets devoured. There it is. There it is. Yeah, it's growing outside. Happy now? I like the idea though. It's a cool concept. It's not you, but it's done in a way that feels good. It's nice. Yeah, I can't feed you. It's night. No. I probably have to wait until it's day again. Right? Yeah, look how night it is. So much night. You won't believe. No. I'm sorry, no. Can I wait until it's day? Is it like making it seem like it's day? Because, yeah, now it looks like day, but it definitely is not. But I guess I still feed the hole. Oh, I could have said no, because I did that at the beginning. Oh shit, that was my mistake. That was my mistake. Look, it's night again. Ugh. No! But I fed it once at night, so I guess it turned into a gremlin. Although, what's the... Wait, what's the description for... Ew. Ew. For the turned gremlins. There should be two different descriptions, right? For like the cute little gremlin and then the... Oh! Oh, hey! Are you... Oh. Thought he would greet me. Yeah, where's the blob? I can't feed you. I don't know where the blob is. Huh. Oh, you're cheeky. Yeah. I don't even know if it's night or not. But let's go with the bad ending. I don't even know if I want to... Oh, consume? Will I eat it or will it eat me? Oh. Yeah, I get consumed. It tells me not to stop, that I'm the only one who understands. I used to scream at it, now I listen. I keep writing notes like this one. I don't remember placing them. Alright. Hi! Hi. Flesh. Eat the flesh? Consume the flesh? Is that the message? There you go. Behind you. But there's nothing behind me. I hate the flashy light effects. Honestly, no. They're so annoying. Oh, we're back to normal. That is so weird. That's it? No.
You came back again. You knew it wasn't a choice, just the same thing over and over. A shadow, a whisper, something feeding on you. You thought it wouldn't touch you, that you could escape. But it always does. You try to bury it, to lock it away. But it keeps straying, taking you more. You're not the first to fall for it, and you won't be the last. Maybe a hopeless is something lost. Maybe it's something that's been taken from you long ago.
What? Why would I give to the hole? Like it doesn't even have nice lodgings to offer. I don't understand. I would have liked this more abstract without that weird ending. Or like a different, less weird ending. Let's one more time, just to see if we get a different ending. But I don't wanna go through all the endings because this game, I do appreciate it, but I think it's a little bit undercooked, just a tiny bit. If I remember correctly, I think I really like the. Let's just not feed it throughout. Let's just never feed it. Oh, I should read this? Yeah. Feed it every day? I don't think so. I think the Lighthouse game was a little bit more cool. Although there was a bug at the end that kind of ruined the whole last big scare for me. Like that concept, sorry, whoop. The concept is super cool, but I don't know, the whole with the, it feels a little bit too, like the letters and everything, a little bit too psychological horror in the end, and I'm like, that's not what we're going for here, are we? This should feel more like, you know, a Clive Barker story and Clive Barker, I think, is really not, he's not doing psychological horror. Like, every single horrible thing that happens to someone in one of his stories just really happens, which that's the cool thing, you know. And so I would like to imagine that we're basically, I don't know, either by a cult or through some weird forces, alright, are forced to feed it. And not have this weird thing where it feels in the end like why am I drawn to it? I would like that to be answered. Because if you have this huge outro text, you know, that explains that you're drawn to it and will always feed and blah blah blah, then tell me why. Where does it get the people from? And what lures them? So that could be a cool backstory while we're walking through the days, that we find letters here every single day like a little journal that explains how we got here. It whispered the first time that it learned my voice. Like that is... And then I can't open this. That's... What's in there? What's in there? Oh. Alright. Let you not feed to the hole. No. Ha! Yeah. That's what you get. Dicking with me. Pfft, I don't think so. Like, how did we get here? Why are we here? Do we know what we're doing? That's what I want to know. Yeah, no, you're not... Not with that attitude, no. You will not get anything from me. I will just, hold it here and not give it to you. Ha 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 ha. Yeah. Sucks to be you, I guess. Why is this here? Am I bleeding? I mean, I guess, yeah, that's also the question. Like, is the thing it eats, is that part of the thing? Like, it regurgitates it every single day and then it eats it again? Because it looks exactly like what the house turns into. And it feels like the thing is growing. And it's also weird that the thing is growing even if we don't feed it. Like, what's that about? It's weird because I recently played I'm Not Alone, or Am I Alone? One of those two. One of those two. The first time it was just curiosity, the second hunger, by the fifth I couldn't tell if it was mine or the holes. The ball? The meatball? And that game was also, it was obtuse. It didn't really tell you anything. I think you had like one letter or something, one or two letters that were also very, abstract and not really plot, telling you any plot. But the whole game felt like the developer had a vision there and knew what the story was. And here it feels like it is an idea and it's a really cool one, but I'm not really sure it's really clear. Like, it feels more like the idea and the rest is kind of missing. Like, the surrounding of why is this happening? Why is the person there? Is it a cult? Is it another universe? And I'm not gonna lie, I really appreciate this idea. I think it's really cool. I think I just don't like the outro text. And the letters also, they don't really give me anything, to be quite honest. And I think for writing in horror games, yeah, it needs to add. I recently saw Tench Frost did like a really cool, super long playthrough of several horror demos. And one of them had like descriptions of how piping works. And it was so boring. And I just thought, I know they want to kind of create the world of this character, and kind of explain stuff and maybe even explain a little bit about a puzzle. But it was just so boring. It was like sitting at school and having to listening to something you don't really, understand or want to understand. And that's when I realized, yeah, it's really important that if you add stories to this, like little notes and whatnot, they need to add to the storytelling. Oh, wow, I get yeeted out. Okay.
It grew with you. Then you starved it. It remembers. In the final room. It grew with you. Then you starved it. It remembers.
Oh.
In the final room.
Oh.
It grew with you. Then you starved it. It remembers.
Why does this not
In the
have
final room.
subtitles?
It grew with you.
Oh, hi!
Then you starved it.
Ooh.
It remembers.
Oh! Why did this walk like a Disney character? Okay, I appreciate the different ending. I do. I really do. I think I don't like... It feels too much like a psychological horror ending. And this is not to say that the developer doesn't have a very clear vision, but for me it doesn't come through. To a point where I'm like, I wonder if there was really a full story here or just the idea of a story. And the difference between two is, so there can be a lot of ideas, but you have to fill it out with details and basically ask all those questions that a listener would ask if you would tell them a story, Oh, how did that person end up there? Why is the thing there? What's the meatball from? What happens if it gets fed? What happens if it doesn't get fed? What's the voice? Who's the voice? Is that the thing growing under the house? Is the house turning into the thing? All those questions need to be answered. They don't need to be in the game, but they need to be answered by the developer. The developer needs to be, or the storyteller needs to know all of them to tell the story in a way that it doesn't feel like some of these answers would be, I don't know, I thought it was cool. And that's how some of it felt like, more like, oh, it was cool. Instead of, there being an actual answer to it. And I have to say, this is a highly subjective opinion, because abstract storytelling is also fine. Some people like if there's no answer, or if it's more like, it can be considered more like artsy, when you don't really need the full information dump or explanation. But I kind of like a good, clean story, because I think it is more difficult to tell a really clean, neat story than to go with cool stuff, cool ideas. And I think that's a huge difference between certain types of games where I feel like, okay, this one has a proper story. It makes sense why the person is there. It makes sense why certain things happen. There's a certain causality to things happening. And the ending usually, even if it can be open, it doesn't have to be explained all the time. But the ending also feels like, okay, this is kind of the ending of a story. And just like a short story, sometimes an open ending can be good because you can imagine what happens, or, can decide what the ending is. The original ending of Stephen King's The Mist, the short story, not the movie, is amazing because it's so open that you basically can fill out the blanks yourself and imagine yourself what would be, the actual ending or how it would continue. But sometimes an open ending doesn't leave you with anything except questions. And then it feels like, oh, I feel like I'm missing something. And then that's a shame, because the original idea, the meatball and everything, I thought that was really cool. The whole, the turning into a house and everything. I just think that the writing, like the letters we find and then the outro text is not really, didn't really tickle my fancy. I think that's the best description of it. But I appreciate the whole visuals, really cool, and the gameplay and everything is fun. I also like that it's 10 days and you're like, oh, but I think it goes by quite fast. So I played this through twice and it felt like it went by pretty easily. I don't think I would want to play it through more times because I'm quite sure there's more endings. Nowadays, developers always have to have like at least 5 endings or something like that. And it's getting a little bit out of hand, because we as players have to dump in so much time just to play the same thing over and over again, just to get slightly different endings. I recently played a game where it was really fun, and the developer even made sure that there was a save option, which I completely missed. So I played through the game 5 times, even though I didn't have to. And they also made like dialogue and everything skippable, so it was super fast to play it through. So that was wonderful. Also, the different endings were really fun. And here also, I appreciate that there were different endings and really concise different endings. I do wish, though, that if we don't feed it, because that means it starves, that the house wouldn't change, because that would make sense to me. Like if I feed it, it grows. It can grow into the house. It can basically devour me. If I don't feed it, then I don't see how it can grow. You know what I mean? What do you think? Yeah, what do you think? Why do you think it grew even if I didn't feed it? Like, what was that about? Also, yeah, maybe, do you have a different interpretation of the ending? Do you actually like it? And if so, please tell me why. And not because I want to start an argument with you, actually because I want to know. Because maybe you've seen something in this game and something in the story that I didn't. And that way, I can like learn from it, and maybe I can appreciate it more. Because I learned that from book club. I'm going very rarely. I have 2 book clubs. I'm going to hardly ever. but I have them. It's a science fiction book club, and then it's a horror book club. And again, I don't go very often, but when I do, it's always so nice because you get to know like different opinions on a book you either liked or you didn't like, or you feel like I liked some parts and I didn't like some other parts. And then you get this group of people, and in both cases, in both clubs, amazing, lovely people, like just so, no one is condescending, no one is arrogant, everyone is super open, and that makes it so much fun to hear the different opinions. And then you're like, oh yeah, something I thought was annoying is actually really cool. Or in one case, everyone's like, this book was horrible, and then you can all, relate to each other in how horrible it was and what a slog it was to get through. And then you also come up with different reasons why the book was horrible, and then you're like, man, I didn't realize how horrible it really was, So it's really enjoyable, and that's what I also like, when you have a different opinion, you can share it with me, and you don't have to be scared that, unless you're getting rude, or weirdly emotional and aggressive over it, because it's just a video game. But if you have a different interpretation of the story, I'm always super happy to hear it. I even had quite often developers comment and explain to me what I was missing in the story. And I also appreciate that, because very often it's like, oh, that makes sense. That actually is a cool idea. And I do like that, to learn from it. So yeah, feel free to share. And also, if you're new to this channel, I play indie horror games. That's pretty much it. And I talk about them a lot. And if you like that, feel free to subscribe. And I promise you, if I'm like a hole and you feed me a meatball, like a giant meatball, I will not, first of all, you will have amazing lodgings. Look, you will have a TV, you will have a proper bath. Like, did you see that bathroom? That was disgusting. I would not turn into the house because you're living there. I don't want you to walk on this squishy blood meat floor that are my, I guess, internal organs or whatever. That's disgusting. No, I would make sure that I would grow under the house, or maybe like outside of the house, but keep the house intact, because that's your lodgings. You need to have a nice living there, I need to make also, I didn't see that you got fat, which, why not? That is also so rude. Maybe you got Uber, I don't know. No, is Uber is not for food. That's for driving. Yeah, but maybe you got something, delivered. I don't know. But I would make sure that you have food, that you have good lodgings, that you have entertainment. Because just feeding me, that can't be the end all. I mean, even if I'm like a cosmic being, still, there's more to life. So, subscribe. Anyways, I hope you had a good time. I hope you have a wonderful day. And maybe see you next time. Bye! This is my self-recorded outro song, so I don't get hit with copyright claims. If you subscribe to a lot of fun tutorials, reviews, and let's plays.